All right, Travis, Red Nation Rising, Okie Pokey, or Okie Cow Pokey. We're all having a little Twitter conversation right now about what you do with this current system. I got one of you guys saying, well, we got to work from the bottom up. But that's still working inside the system that's broken. How do you fix a broken system with itself? How do you do that? The judicial branch is corrupt. The Supreme Court says you can take somebody's DNA, without a warrant now. If you're a cop, and you're suspicious of them. They've let Obamacare stand. They can't even define words right. Shall not be infringed. 4 words are so clear and so simple. 4 words. And they get it wrong. There's no shall not be infringed unless it has a flash suppressor and a pistol grip, or shall not be infringed unless it has a 30-round magazine, or shall not be infringed unless it has a semi-automatic capability. It just says shall not be infringed. But they can't even get that right. Presidents on both sides in the recent past have all been corrupt. Even during the era of Reagan, he wasn't corrupt, but couldn't even control it because the spending went up, the deficit went up. Look at the past recent two, Bush and Obama, both too big to fail, Wall Street backing, capitalism destroying the credibility, which destroys the credibility of the whole system. Assholes. Both of them did that. In the legislature, well, that's just laughable to even think that there's any hope there. That body is so majorly corrupt in so many ways. The few good men that are there are not enough. And even if change started to come, do you think the powerful will give it up without a fight? Why do you think DHS has bought 2,700 Bearcats and 2.6 billion rounds of ammunition? Damn near enough. They've bought a little more even. They're getting close to having enough ammo to put 10 rounds in the brain box of every American citizen. And you think we're going to change the system through the system? So we can't do it through the system. What do? There's danger every way you look, because now if you try to bring the system to its knees so we can do what we should do, which is reinstate our Constitution, reaffirm it, scrap every other law, because really everything in the world can be defined, criminally speaking, as constitutional or unconstitutional act. If you kill somebody, you've infringed on their right to be happy and their freedom, right? You rape a girl, you've done that. You steal from somebody, you've infringed on their property rights. Everything can be judged under the Constitution. Keep it simple, stupid, right? KISS. We should have followed that a long time ago. Because see, when you give politicians the ability to legislate, all they can do is throw kickbacks to their constituents, their friends, give contracts out, and peddle their influence. As long as they have that ability, even if we could start from zero, like just snap our fingers right now, have it happen, if we didn't change that, it would all end up happening again. Everything right now. Men are fallible, corruptible. Justice can go awry even with our current system. You really want lawmakers and the justice system? All it does is subvert the Constitution. But so if we try to take this system to its knees so we can do that, what happens then? The leeches scream, upheaval in the streets. But that's been done to us on purpose. It's a trap. The very thing that it takes to fix this country, the ending of the welfare state, is the very thing that could end this state, our country. That's been done by design. Cloward Piven, baby. Overwhelm the system. Overload the welfare rolls, DBT lines. Break it on purpose. Bring in authoritarian style rule to get the peace and ease into socialism. Long plan. I have to look at the past 100 years and say the liberals have been tirelessly marching forward, and every decade we've just chalked it up to a loss pretty much. So I wouldn't say that, oh yeah, we're just going to beat them, you know? I wouldn't be so cocky. Sun Tzu always said, respect your enemy. The second you think you are better than him, he is better than you. These people have dominated politics, have got the media in their pocket, and a lot of people are still asking how they did it. And we think we can just discount the power that they wield? I don't know. So the fact of the matter is that there's no way this ends good. I used to say, I pray we do it. There we go. I pray we do it with ballots, but prepare to use bullets. 1776 and it cost. Because freedom is so precious that I'm not willing to live without it. I'm not willing to live on my knees in chains either. Men have fought and died for this country and showed great hope in their sacrifice, saying that they're thinking that their sacrifice at the foot of the tree of liberty would prolong the idea that is America, would make it last. Think of the hope in that they show in their sacrifice. We all owe no less. We've been stuck in a position where trying to work through the system is impossible because it's corrupt. There's too many ways for them to even if we started getting people elected the right way, too many ways for them to change the dialogue, create mass panic. There's instruments they have in place that have been put there and ready and waiting for a long time. But so, what's the other option? Not working through the system, resetting the system, making this one stop and hitting the reset. But doing that leads to civil unrest because the leeches scream, because they've gotten the system overwhelmed, and they've put everybody in the dole, and they have that Cloward Piven reality, and it's here today. So no matter what, there's going to be a fight. The sooner we take that fight to them, the better, because you know what? Tactics dictates that if you let your enemy pick the time and place of a battle, he will win, because he has chosen to be there. Just like if we wait till they come to our front doors to take us to a camp or to take our guns away, they're going to pry your gun from your cold dead hands. Because if they came to your door, believe me, they're planning to be there and they're going to be ready to do it. So what do we do to make the system go and stop? And do it on our terms? What do you do? Consider the Declaration of Independence. The government only governs with the consent of the governed. What is your consent? What equals your consent? What is it? It's taxes. Taxes equal your consent. Because if you don't agree with the government but you still pay it taxes, you give it the ability to govern you, whether or not you consent, because it pays the salaries to the cops of its thugs. So if you want to jumpstart a new system, and you have got to bring this one to its knees first, we got to stop paying taxes. I haven't paid them for over a year. I haven't paid them in my business. I haven't paid them personally. I've called the IRS and told them so. When you stand up to them like that, they're a lot less likely to come mess with you because you know your rights and you've stated a case to them. You've written them a letter, like I did. They haven't messed with me yet. I own business. They're missing a lot of good bit of money from my ass. But I let them know that I'm ready for them. And when people try to come mess with me, cops, whatever, I have my video camera all the time. And if I'm by myself, I got the Quick app going on, where it's live streaming to the internet, to a server where it can be uploaded by a friend if I don't show up someplace. You see, everybody's afraid to start doing something like that, like not pay taxes. They're afraid of what could happen to them, the big bad IRS. But they're thinking about those consequences, not the consequences of freedom dying, of this country going to the ash heap of history. And Even if the odds seem impossible, remember our founders fought a revolutionary war with only a third of the country behind them, because a third didn't give a damn, and a third were for the British. But they knew it was right, and they did it. They stood on principle. And they said, if I have no justice in this current system, like Benjamin Franklin, who went to the king tens of times, was mocked, ridiculed, and laughed out of the king's audiences. What they said the founders did, the founders said themselves, if you won't give me my freedom, I will secure it for myself. And that's the problem, is that we have delegated the responsibility for or the care of our freedom to some politicians in a distant capital, instead of remembering that freedom and liberty is only maintained with that eternal vigilance, and we are all responsible for it. Maintain that flame in ourselves, not some politician giving a speech and rallying us up every fucking couple of years. And because you can't kindle that fire in him that you have, only you can be that eternally vigilant flame that stands guard over your own freedom. And we have not done that. None of us have for a long time now. We have been negligent in our duty as a citizen. So I ask you, per the Declaration of Independence, you have a right and a duty, if government becomes abusive, to retract your consent. Will you retract it? Will you say, damn the consequences? Because there's a worse consequence out there, and that is losing my integrity and losing my country. And I'm not willing to do that. I won't do that. Can you do that? Will you? Is this country worth it? It has to be. Well, everything that all those men that have fought and died for this country up until now was for nothing. Our complacency has put us in this corner. Do not lie to yourselves anymore and fear looking in the eye of our own failure and be afraid then to do what it takes to make up for your mistakes. I take responsibility as well. I speak out now. I got all kinds of people follow me on Twitter. But I didn't used to always be like that. So in this past year, I've even become this active in politics. I've put this much thought into it. I had to look myself in the eye and realize that I had failed. We had all failed. You can try to blame the Democrats, the progressives, but we were not vigilant, and they slipped in before we knew it. They had given their panacea to the masses, their social welfare, and next thing you know, we're compromising our integrity to try and make a middle ground with them instead of standing on our principle a long time ago like we should have. Compromise is a non sequitur in this game. If you try to work for change through the system, you have to compromise, especially in the beginning, because they control some of the stuff, and a lot of them, they have half the population on their side. But when you compromise, you destroy your own truth. Because if you're willing to take a piece of what you know to be true, what you know to be right, freedom and liberty, you're willing to jeopardize a piece of it to get a little part of the deal, what does any of it mean? Because if it's really true, why would you trade it for a lie? Why would you give up any piece of it if you know it's correct? You wouldn't. And the very fact that you would do it, let's say your side call you out, say, well, even you know there's a flaw in your beliefs, because look, even you are willing to trade a little piece of them. Get this, it's obviously more important to you, but that's not, and you're willing to trade that out. So, I mean, obviously, if it was really true to you, I mean, completely, why would you give it up to me? That's what the liberals say. And they can do that. They can move the goalposts on you, too, on that one all day long, because they're subjectivists. They have no ultimate truth. They have no real right and wrong. They have no morality and freedom and liberty. That's just a matter of perspective through your human eyes. That it's your opinion. It's like that. You think that's what that is not subjective. Man is meant to be free and independent, like JFK said. I will not live in chains, nor will I be anything have anything to do with any idea that I'll just end up in that same spot anyway. Chains. We have to start looking at ourselves in the eye and say, we are responsible for this. Where it's ended up, yeah, we're not Democrats, and yeah, we're not the idiots, but we're the complacent dummies. I was. Many patriots still are. And we deal with a group of people, a party. I mean, Glenn Beck, I gotta go here. Glenn Beck's out there saying at the voter values, like, oh, we're about to win. I love his optimism. But man is an inherently sinful being. Lest we forget the main difference between the political parties, Republicans and the right and the left, Whether you're a Republican, conservative, or a libertarian, or you're a progressive, a leftist, a liberal, whatever, there's two sides, is that liberals depend on the good of man. They count on the good soul of man, the good heart, that man is, the whole Rousseau and Voltaire argument, like a society corrupts and, man is inherently good, which we know is not true. That is the basis of the leftist argument. That's why all their beliefs are good intentions. Oh, gun control, nobody dies, nobody get hurt, But in reality, it's a thing that will never, it's unworkable. Because it's not true to human nature. That's why they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Man does not have good intentions. We have to strive over our evil selves to do good. And we have to try to be the better man. That's why taking the easy way is always the wrong way. And that is the essence of the right side of the debate. That man is not inherently good, and we have to look at things in the reality in which they exist, as opposed to good intentions that we wish and hope they could be. Glenn Beck, I love your optimism, but your thinking is playing into the left. Since man is inherently sinful, or inherently evil, you could say, let's keep God out of it. These good intended liberals, all those good intentions are hiding, the other side of man that we all know as Republicans or on the right that is there, which is the reality of the inherent evil that man can be and create, and the struggle to do good over wrong, and to stand up for what is correct and right. Now you know what needs to be done. Now you see the plight that we are in. Now you see that we have to start thinking on a lot different wavelength and scale. I don't want this. I wish my country was healthy, and I wish I didn't have to say the things I've just said to you. I wish that all that I said could be erased and that we could just go to having a nice country, those founding principles again. I don't want to say what I say. But I won't lie to myself either. Don't be God of yourself. I hope you guys watch this. I know it's long. But it's the truth. You either stomached it or you didn't. You made it through this far. I think you can't argue with what I have to say. I live in the world of logic and reason and the reality of the world. Nothing else. I don't like it sometimes. But I like even less what ignoring it will bring about.